Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy AI Legends, and today I shall be uploading the next part of What If Naruto Was Abandoned by His Family. So, without any further ado, let us start our video. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video to subscribe to my channel because I'm trying my best so that I can upload videos on daily routine. So it will help me as well as motivate me if you guys subscribe to my channel. If you guys are not subscribed, so please do so. And I have just made an Instagram ID, and if you guys follow me on it, it will help me a lot. So without any further ado, let us start our video. As last time we left off in the first part when Naruto was adopted, you can say almost adopted by third Hokage, as he started to train Naruto, as he saw Naruto's immense chakra as well as something strange was about Naruto's chakra. It was most likely like Hashirama's Senju, as all the plants around Naruto started to grow because of his chakra, which really surprises third Hokage, which he decided to, you can say, make it a secret and not tell anyone right now. As for Naruto, he became friends with Sasuke as he showed him some chakra control exercises. After this, Sasuke was able to do his fireball jutsu. So let us start from here on, as both Naruto and Sasuke went to their opposite directions towards their homes. As Naruto arrived back at his home, as he met with third Hokage, as he told third Hokage that how he made a friend with a boy named that Sasuke Uchiha, as third Hokage was happy that Naruto was finally making friends in the village, as he told Naruto that how his own father's name was Sarutobi Sasuke, which really intrigued Naruto about it, as he decided to become good friends with Sasuke Uchiha, as he explained to third Hokage that how he was trying to make the big fireball jutsu, but he was not able to do so. So he showed him some chakra control exercise of the leaf. As third Hokage was happy to hear this, as he told Naruto that soon they will learn or they will progress their training even more so that Naruto could also perform all the 5 chakra nature transformations, as Naruto was quite happy about it. As now we skip to the next day, as Naruto was training with third Hokage, as third Hokage said, "Alright Naruto, it is time, I think that it is time for you to learn some basic jutsus," as Naruto was happy about it, as third Hokage said, "Alright Naruto, now I shall teach you the or you can say the clone jutsu," as Naruto said, "Alright," as third Hokage showed him the academy level clone jutsu, as Naruto tried to make one but he was not able to do so, as a dead clone came out of nowhere, as third Hokage was surprised about it. He knew that Naruto's chakra control was great, so why it was not working. He thought about it for some time and then came to the conclusion that Naruto's chakra is so much denser as well as so great that he cannot do a small jutsu like clone jutsu, as he sighs and said, "Alright Naruto, I will show you a different jutsu. It seems that this jutsu just takes a lot less chakra than you can actually give out," as Naruto nodded at that, as third Hokage showed him the multi-shadow clone or the shadow clone jutsu, as third Hokage showed Naruto the hand signs, as Naruto nodded at that, as he performed the multi-shadow clone jutsu. To the surprise of third Hokage, as the third try of Naruto popped out 4 clones into existence, the solid clones, as Naruto was quite happy about his progress, as third Hokage was also surprised to see that, as he said, "Alright Naruto, it seems that you're getting the hang of it, now train on it," as Naruto nodded, as third Hokage said, "Alright, I have to do some paperwork. For today, you can go into the village and play with your new friend," as third Hokage smiled as he went off, as Naruto ran in the village, as he met with Sasuke in the same position as he was, or you can say Sasuke was doing some minor training, as Sasuke was happy to see his new friend Naruto. As Sasuke arrived to Naruto, I said, "Well Naruto, my dad gave me a lot of praise about it, as how he was quite proud that I was able to do the fireball jutsu," as Naruto was happy about Sasuke. As Sasuke said, "Alright Naruto, should we train?" as Naruto nodded at that, as both of them started to spar with each other, as Naruto saw that how Sasuke was not actually that strong compared to him, even though Sasuke was stronger than his original, or you can say stronger than most of the children of his own age. After some time, Naruto told Sasuke that they should try to hang out with some other kids, as Sasuke was a bit reluctant about it, but still he nodded at that, as both Sasuke as well as Naruto went to a small group of children that was none other than Shikamaru and Choji, as Naruto and Sasuke introduces themselves, as Shikamaru just nodded and said, "What a drag." As for Choji, he was happy as he gave Naruto and Sasuke his ships, as both of them accepted it and eat a little, and then all 4 of them started to play together. As the time passes on, as all 4 of them became good friends. Right now Naruto is 8 years old and now it is time for him to enter into the academy, as he entered along with Sasuke as well as Choji as well as Shikamaru. Well guys, in this timeline, Uchiha massacre is not going to happen because even though third Hokage is right now in the seat of Hokage, but still Minato is still the fourth Hokage and he has the authority over the Ambus and all those type of things. And I don't think though so that Uchiha massacre will happen in this timeline. So that is that. Or I did not want it to have it happen like that. In this time, Naruto was visiting Sasuke's house a lot as Mikoto was happy to see Naruto. She already knew that he was the son of Kushina. After thinking about Kushina, she became quite angry because even she heard the rumor that how Kushina has abandoned her firstborn, and she was quite angry about it. So she did not want to do anything with Kushina, but she started to take care of Naruto time to time, as Naruto was quite happy to have a mother figure in his life as well. As now Naruto is in his academy, as the Iruka arrived and the things started to play out like normal. But this time Naruto was trying to be best in the academy, as he wanted to make third Hokage proud, so that his trainings will not be in vain, as well as keeping up with his training. As time passes on, as well as Sasuke and Naruto were training with each other, and now Naruto is going, or you can say was sparring with third Hokage, because third Hokage wanted to see that how strong Naruto has gotten in this time, as he was quite impressed, as in 9 years, or you can say the 10-year-old Naruto was doing quite well, as third Hokage could easily tell that Naruto was above a Genin level, or you can say the mid-Chunin level at best, as he was quite proud to see that how Naruto has become a lot stronger in this time. As Naruto got exhausted after a bit of sparring and he got unconscious, as third Hokage took him to his home as he was sleeping, as Naruto opened his eyes to see that he was in some type of sewer, as he saw that the water was beneath him, as he started to walk in a blank alleyway, as he was confused about this all, as he saw a big cage in front of him. It was none other than the cage of the 9 tails, as the 2 big red eyes opened. As Naruto looked to see the big 9 tails was standing there, as Naruto was quite surprised to see that, but it was not that big of a surprise, because after a bit of researching and all, he was, you can say that, had some idea that it could be possible that he was the Jinchuriki of the 9 tails or something like that. As the 9 tails opened his eyes and he started to laugh and said, well, it seems that the brat has finally decided to visit me, huh? As Naruto was surprised to see that 9 tails could actually speak or things like that, as Naruto said, well, who are you? As the 9 tails said, well, I'm the mighty 9-tailed fox. As Naruto said, well, 9-tailed fox, it is quite strange of a name. It is. Do you have any other name or anything like that? As Kurama was a bit surprised to hear this, because not many people thought about it. As Kurama said, so what do you think that my name is not the 9 tails? As Naruto laughed and said, well, if you can speak like this, which means that you can think as well. So it is quite strange to call someone by his traits. If I'll be given the name, I would be called Blondie. As the Kurama chuckled a little and said, well, it seems that you are a genius one on that. That old fool has raised you, right, it seems. As Naruto laughed at that and said, so, you do have a name, right? As Kurama nodded and said, well, my name is Kurama. As Naruto said, Kurama, well, it is a nice name, but I have some question to ask you. As Kurama nodded at that, as Naruto said, so, if you can think like this as well as do many things, which I can tell, so, why did you attack the village 10 years ago? As Kurama laughed and said, well, to be honest, I did not attack the village. It was an Uchiha who put me under a genjutsu and extracted me from your mother. When Naruto heard that, he was quite surprised, as he said, wait, my mother? Which means that my mother was a Jinchuriki, right? As Kurama laughed and said, well, don't keep your hopes up. As he saw Naruto was smiling, as he said, don't keep your hopes up, little kid. As Naruto was confused about it, as Kurama said, well, what I am about to tell you, I did not want you to do this, but for some reason you have a strange power. This power is that of the Sage of 6 Paths. As Naruto was surprised to hear this, already known about the Sage of 6 Paths, as Kurama said, well, I can feel a chakra inside of you. It seems that the Sage of 6 Paths has gifted you with his own chakra. You're not his reincarnation, but you have the powers of the Sage of 6 Paths. It seems that he believed in you. So I will tell you, and it will help you to grow in the future, even though it will hurt a little. As Naruto was surprised to hear all of this, as Kurama said, well, Naruto, it seems that your family has abandoned you. When Naruto heard this, his whole life, or you can say his whole world, started to shake. He many times tried to ask third Hokage who his parents were, but every time he says so, he could see a bit of anger in the eyes of third Hokage. So he thought that it could be possible that his parents were bad people or things like that. So he never pushed third Hokage to tell him. After all, third Hokage was the one who was taking care of him, and if his parents were actually bad people, then it would be a great favor to him that third Hokage was actually raising him and things like that. As Naruto said, what do you mean by that? My parents abandoned you. As Kurama said, well, it is the same as it sounds like, Naruto. As Kurama explained that how his mother was the previous Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, but even after his extraction, she was able to survive thanks to the Sanin, Tsunade, as well as Jiraiya, who were there, as well as his father, 4th Hokage. When Naruto heard it, he already known about the 4th Hokage has left the village along with his two children, Menma and Mito, so that he can train both of them. Or things like that. As Kurama explained that how the Jiraiya, the Toad, has explained to Minato that how a child will be born, as he thought that Menma or Mito must be the child of prophecy who will bring peace to this world, and he abandoned him because he wanted to train both of them so that they can save the world. As Naruto was right now at the verge of crying as he said, no, you're lying, it is not possible. I'm not the son of 4th Hokage. As Kurama chuckled and said, well, I'm sorry kid, but you must have seen the similarities between you as well as 4th Hokage. After all, most of the time you are in the Hokage office, right? As Naruto nodded at that, he already thought about it for some time, but he thought that it could not be possible or things like that. But right now, Naruto was in tears. He could not imagine that how his parents abandoned him before even he was 1 year old or anything like that. This really made Naruto angry as well as sad at the same time. As Kurama said, well kid, I do not have any of my power because I'm just a soul, but in time I shall receive all of my power back. As Naruto looked towards Kurama, as Kurama said, well, don't worry. It seems that your parents thought that you was not the child of prophecy but the other two, but I can tell you are the one who has the power of the Sage of Six Paths, which even surpasses my own. And I truly believe that you are the child of prophecy, and I know all of these things because whatever my chakra come in contact with anything, I can also know it, as well as I was there when your parents decided that they will abandon you at this village at its mercy. As Naruto was crying in this time, as he was really heartbroken at that. As Naruto said, so what should I do now? As Kurama said, well kid, you are the one who has been blessed with the power of the Sage of Six Paths, so I'm pretty sure that you will also receive the Rinnegan. As Naruto's eyes widened and he said, the Rinnegan? As Kurama explained how it is one of the 3 great dojutsus, the Byakugan, Sharingan, and the final stage, the ultimate jutsu known as the Rinnegan. It has the legendary power even surpasses that of Bijus, and Kurama explained that how he will receive all of his power back in due time from Menma and Mito, because even though the seal is holding the power, but once they started to use the power of the Nine Tails, because the power of the Nine Tails is nothing more than the nature energy, it returns back to the nature, and since I'm connected to the nature, I get the power back to me. As Naruto couldn't understand it, after all, he knows a bit of Jutsu as well. The seal can hold the chakra, but once it is out of the seal has no control where it actually goes. As Kurama nodded at that and said, well kid, but you have to open this cage in time, if you trust me, that is. As Naruto said, well, I do not have key for now, but one day, Kurama, I will release you, and guess what, I will give you all of your power back, and one day you will be free in this world. As Kurama laughed at that and said, we shall see kid, we shall see. As Naruto blinked as he was back into his room. As he stood up and went to the balcony, as he started to look into the stars and moons, as he was quite sad that after knowing that how his own parents has actually abandoned him. First thought which came to his mind was his first ideology of being a shinobi, that how he thought that how a shinobi sacrifices one thing for the other, but he remembered how the third Hokage explained that those who sacrifices other things, other people for their own good are not true shinobi, as he had a determined look in his eyes as he was confident as well as determined at the same time that he will change this world as well as bring true peace to this world and change many things. As he smiled by looking at the stars, as he said, one day I prove all of them wrong. As tomorrow, as he started to train immensely, as even Kurama started to help him, as he started to wear weights, as Naruto right now knows the basic academy jutsus and does not know any nature transformation, only the fireball jutsu which he got thanks to the help of Sasuke. As Naruto wanted to learn all the jutsus that there were, as Kurama explained that how before learning this jutsu, he should try to activate his Rinnegan. As Naruto nodded at that, as he asked Kurama how he can actually activate the Rinnegan. As Kurama said, well, as much as I hate that cursed Sharingan, but the Sharingan is the first stage of the Rinnegan. As Naruto said, really? As Kurama nodded at that and said, well, you have to first activate your Sharingan. I'm pretty sure that you will activate it at its third state, the 3 Tomoe. And after that, you can evolve it without doing the necessary deeds for the other Uchihas to activate the Mangekyo Sharingan. As Naruto nodded at that, as Kurama said, alright Naruto, first of all you have to be in a situation where your life is in threat. As Naruto said, so what should I do then? As Kurama said, well, we have to think about it, how you can actually activate your Sharingan. As Kurama started to think and said, well, I have an idea. The person who is going to help you to activate your Sharingan is going to be. As Kurama had a devilish smirk on his face, as Naruto said, Kurama, I don't like that look you're giving me. As Kurama said, just hear me out, kid. As Naruto nodded at that. As Naruto, after listening the plan, he was in shock as he said, what? Are you out of your mind, Kurama? That guy is almost crazy. As Kurama said, well, that's how you're actually going to activate your Sharingan. You're strong, kid, but you're not on the level of Ambu. As Naruto gritted his teeth and said, alright, what should I do? As Kurama explained the plan, as Naruto went, as he changed his clothes into the Ambus as well as he put a mask on his face. As he said, alright, they're right, as Kurama nodded, as Naruto dashes into the forest to near the headout of Root. As Naruto rushes towards him, as he saw that some of the Ambus that were nearby, as Naruto said, alright Kurama, it better be worth it. As Kurama said, well, it will be. Naruto, just throw it. As Naruto nodded, as he threw a kunai with the explosion on it, as Ambus saw that how a person was throwing kunais at them, as the Root Ambu started to follow Naruto as he started to throw kunais and shurikens at Naruto. As Naruto said, damn it, damn it, damn it, as he started to run from there. He was strong, but nowhere near the level of Ambu. So they started to run as he saw that some of the Ambu started to catch up to him. As he said, alright, now as he make multi-shadow clone jutsu, as several clones arrive, as the Ambu split, so that they can actually find the real one. As he saw that only 2 Ambus were actually following him now, and the rest of them ran towards his clones. As Naruto said, alright, what now? As Kurama said, engage them in a battle. As Naruto said, alright Kurama, as they started to fight with both of them. As Naruto saw that the difference of level of power between himself as well as the Ambu, as Naruto quickly made the hand signs and said, fast style, great fireball jutsu, as he releases a big fireball towards one of the Ambu, who quickly made hand signs, and the water dragon completely evaporated the fireball. As Naruto said, alright, now what? As he saw that how his danger sense started to ring a lot, as Naruto ducked under a swing as the Ambu was about to clean his head off. As Naruto engaged in a taijutsu battle with the Ambu, as he was able to push him a little bit far, as he quickly made shadow clones and started to engage in a battle. As then he quickly turned around as he saw that how a sword was coming towards him in a fast speed, as he could not move that fast, as the Ambu was coming near to his neck, as his neck was about to be chopped off. And then suddenly Naruto saw that how the world started to move slowly and even more slowly, as he could see the sword, its angle, and then he quickly moved his head so fast as he was able to watch it clearly. As Kurama said, as he started to sleep again, as Naruto activated his 3 Tomoe Sharingan. As Naruto said, alright, as he threw the smoke bomb there, as he quickly dashes out of the place, leaving some of the shadow clones to distract, as the Ambus were able to kill off the shadow clones. But Naruto had already left the area as the Ambus went off to Root to explain to Danzo that's how someone actually attacked them, and they did not know who it was, because none of them saw the Sharingan or anything like it. As Naruto went back to his home, as he removed the Ambu uniform, and then he was happy. He has activated his 3 Tomoe Sharingan, just like the Sage of Six Paths who activated 3 Tomoe Sharingan. And he was able to do the same, as he was quite happy, as he said, "Alright Kurama, I have activated my Sharingan," as he was quite happy, as Kurama said, "Alright Naruto, now to make the advantage of the Sharingan, make shadow clones." As Naruto said, "Shadow clones? What do you mean by that?" As Kurama said, "Just do it." As Naruto said, "Alright," as he quickly made 5 shadow clones. As then Kurama said, "Alright, make them transform into different people and then scatter them into the training grounds." As Naruto did so. As he said, "But before, what should I do?" As Kurama said, "Well, since these are your shadow clones and all the memories that a shadow clone can actually get returned back to the original, make them copy jutsu by using their Sharingan from different shinobis that are around the village and make them copy those jutsus and you can use them in the future." As Naruto was quite excited about this idea, as he said, "Alright Kurama, you're the best." As Kurama said, "Of course I'm the best." As he started to boast about him, how he's the king of all bijus and the strongest among all bijus. As Naruto laughed at that and said, "Alright, go on." As all the clones dashes into the village. As Naruto said, "Alright Kurama, when will I activate my Rinnegan?" As Kurama said, "Well Naruto, it is just like the Mangekyo Sharingan, as you will be able to activate it in near future, but I do not give any guarantee that you will be able to deactivate it. After all, the Sage of Six Paths was not able to deactivate it once he activated his Rinnegan or evolve his Sharingan to the Rinnegan." As Naruto nodded at that, as Kurama said, "Well Naruto, you do have another ability you can work on." As Naruto said, "Oh really? What type of ability will that be?" As Kurama said, "Well, you have heard about the first Hokage, right?" As Naruto nodded at that, as Kurama sighed and said, "Well, the Sage of Six Paths also had an ability which somehow first Hokage inherited, or I don't know how the first Hokage was able to use that power, but it was known as the Moketan." As Naruto's eyes widened, as Naruto said, "Wait, the wood style?" As Kurama nodded at that and said, "Well, originally, the Sage of Six Paths was the one who could use the wood style, and after his son was able to do so, but for some reason which I do not understand, the first Hokage was also able to do so. But it is quite possible that he would have been the reincarnation of the son of the Sage of Six Paths, because if he was the reincarnation of Sage of Six Paths, I would have already known it. But I think that he was the reincarnation of his son who inherited his power of using the Moketan." As Naruto nodded at that, as Kurama said, "Alright Naruto, now we have to work on your Moketan abilities, but ask your old man Hiruzen. I'm pretty sure that he also noticed that you have the Moketan ability." As Naruto nodded at that, as he said, "So what should I tell him?" As Kurama thought about it and said, "Alright, now make these hand signs." As Naruto said, "Alright." As Naruto did hand signs and then slapped his hand into the ground, as he saw that some of the trees as well as plants that were nearby started to grow. As Naruto said, "Whoa, so is this the ability?" As Kurama said, "Well, it is nothing compared to the true power of the Moketan. Go ask the old man and show him this jutsu. I'm pretty sure that he will react to this." As Naruto nodded at that, as he went into the Hokage office, as Hokage was doing the paperwork, as Naruto entered and said, "Well, Sensei, I have discovered a new ability." As third Hokage looked towards Naruto and said, "A new ability, you say?" As Naruto said, "Just come with me." As Hokage nodded as he went to the personal training ground of Naruto, as Naruto did the same hand signs and then slammed his hand into the ground, as he saw that how the nearby trees started to grow exponentially as well as the plants nearby started to grow. As the third Hokage's eyes widened, he had already thought about it, as he had a little bit of, you can say, hint that Naruto might have the Moketan ability, but he did not want to think about it. So this even confirms it that Naruto not only has the Moketan, but also somehow he has the ability to control plants at the same time, not only wood. As this really surprises third Hokage, as he said, "Naruto, you have the Moketan?" As Naruto said, "Well, it seems like it." As Naruto was quite happy, as third Hokage said, "Alright Naruto, I'm forbidding you to tell anyone that you have these abilities or things like that." As Naruto looked toward third Hokage, as third Hokage explained that how if the other villages find out that you have such ability, they will try to kill you or assassinate you even more, or thinking that in his mind. As he said, "Alright Naruto, do you understand me now?" As Naruto nodded at that, as third Hokage said, "But don't worry, I will train you on it." As third Hokage vanished for some time and then arrived with a scroll on his hand, as he said, "Well, it was given to me by first Hokage, as he told me that how I'm going to become the third Hokage, so if any of his descendants actually were to activate the Moketon ability, I were to train him by using this scroll. But you're not a Senju, but still you have activated this ability of his own, and since all the descendants of the first Hokage has been died, so I think that you can learn Moketon from this scroll. As Naruto nodded at that, as he was quite happy that third Hokage was actually considering him worthy enough to be trained by the scroll of the first Hokage. As third Hokage was quite happy about it, as Naruto looked after taking the scroll, looked toward third Hokage. As third Hokage was quite surprised to see the look Naruto was giving him, as Naruto had almost tears in his eyes as he bowed to third Hokage, as he said that how happy he actually is that third Hokage has been training him as well as entrusting him with so much power and with his time, as even when his own parents has abandoned him. When third Hokage heard it, he was quite shocked to hear this, as he said, Naruto, you know about your parents? As Naruto said, yeah, I have found out that my parents are the fourth Hokage as well as the Red Death of the village, Kushina Uzumaki, and also about my siblings, so-called siblings, Menma and Mito. As third Hokage was surprised to hear this, as Naruto explained that how he does not consider them his parents. The only family he has is third Hokage, as well as a woman thinking about Mikoto, who almost loved him like his own son. As third Hokage was quite happy to hear this, but sad at the same time, thinking that how bad Minato has actually hurt this kid, and he did not want to tell Naruto about this all, but it is too late for now. As Naruto said, don't worry, Lord Third Sensei, I will make you proud, and I will not be like your other students like Sanins. I will take care of my family as well as I will make you proud. As third Hokage was happy to hear this, as he said, Naruto, I'm pretty sure that you will make me proud by hugging Naruto close. As third Hokage said, well Naruto, even though your family has left you, but this village is your family, and make it your family and entrust this village. As Naruto nodded at that, as third Hokage said, alright Naruto, be at your training. As Naruto nodded at that, as he started to train even harder, even more. Right now not telling third Hokage about his Rinnegan or the Sharingan, as he started to use the minor wood style jutsus, and now we have a time skip to the time we are all waiting for. Now the 13 years of the fourth Hokage leaving the village has already passed. In this time, fourth Hokage Minato has taught Menma and Mito many things, and now it is time for all of them to go back to village. Now we go to Naruto, as Naruto is running towards, you can say, the Uchiha estate. As Naruto went, as he said, alright Sasuke, come on already. As Sasuke arrived back, as Mikoto was there, as Mikoto said, well Naruto-kun, it seems that you are here. As Naruto said, yes. As Naruto said, yes mom, I'm here. In this time, Naruto was like a son to Mikoto, as Mikoto was quite happy when Naruto started to call her mom. As we have a flashback, as Naruto right now is around 11 years old, as Naruto is having a dinner with Itachi along with the Uchiha family. Even Fugaku was quite fond of Naruto, as he saw that how Sasuke was training with Naruto as well as getting strong. So Fugaku allowed Sasuke to train with Naruto, seeing that how improved Sasuke has already gotten and making him so proud. So he became a bit fond of Naruto at the same time, as Naruto was quite close to the family of Uchihas, as Mikoto-san. As Naruto told that how he already know who his parents actually are, which saddens Mikoto, who already knew that, as she told him that how even if Kushina does not love him like a son, she does, as she really considered Naruto as her own son, because Mikoto was taking care of Naruto a lot every time Naruto was around the Uchiha estate along with Sasuke. So she even allowed, as Naruto asked her if he also considered her as his own mother, as Mikoto was quite happy to hear this, as Mikoto told him that if he actually wants, he can call her his own mom, as Naruto was happy to hear this, as the first time he called Mikoto his mom, as Mikoto was quite happy to hear this, as well as they have a touchy, you can say that, moment and all, that type of, as Sasuke was happy to have Naruto as his own brother. In this timeline, I don't think that if Sasuke should be the reincarnation of Indra, should not be. Let's just think about it in the near future. So that is that. And now we have, as Naruto as well as Sasuke went into the academy, as the day passes on and now the graduation day is finally coming back, as now the village has been announced that 4th Hokage along with his family is coming back to the village, as all the villagers were quite happy. It was a long time after that 4th Hokage was coming back, as all the villagers were there to welcome the family of the 4th Hokage along with Kushina as well as Menma and Mito, as Menma and Mito are quite cocky as brats, as they went into the village, as all the villagers were cheering for 4th Hokage and for his family, as Minato was happy to see his village after a long time, as he went to the office of the Hokage, as all the people were cheering for him, as well as Kushina, as well as Menma and Mito went to their office and all, as 3rd Hokage was there, as 3rd Hokage said, "Well Minato, welcome back," as Minato said, "Well Lord Hurt, it seems that you have taken care of village well," as 3rd Hokage sighs and said, "Well, it seems that I have gotten old, so it is about time you take your seat back," as he stood up, as he gave Minato the hat back, as Minato laughed and said, "Well, thanks Lord Hurt," as he took the hat back as well as the seat, as he said, "So, Lord Hurt, mind explaining the situation of the village?" As 3rd Hokage explained that how there was some problem with the Uchihas, but the things got cleared in time, and that is that. As Minato was happy to hear this all, as Kushina as well as Menma and Mito, as Kushina said, "Well, I'm starving, I'm going to get some Ichiroko ramen," as Menma said, "Ichiroko ramen," as Kushina said, "Yeah, that is the greatest food in the whole world, Menma, come, I have you eat some," as Menma and Mito started to follow Kushina, as 3rd Hokage was thinking that they did not even ask about their son, who they have not seen for 13 years, as Minato said, "Alright, it seems that I have some paperwork to do," as he looked to see a lot of paperwork, as 3rd Hokage said, "Alright Minato, I'll take your leave," as Minato started to do his paperwork, as 3rd Hokage went off, as Naruto also heard the rumors that how the 4th Hokage has came back into the village, as he said, so the Hokage is back, huh?" As Sasuke was looking towards Naruto and said, "So, are you okay, Naruto?" As Naruto said, "Yeah, I do not consider them my family. To be honest, I have not even seen one of them. So, to be honest, I do not care. And don't worry about it." As Sasuke already know that Naruto is the son of 4th Hokage, as he was furious when he heard that how his family has abandoned him so that they can train those brats. As he was quite angry, because we know how much Sasuke thought about the Uchiha as well as his family, and that, as he said, "Don't worry Naruto, let us go and eat some things," as Naruto nodded at that, as he went to the village, as he started to walk, as he saw that how people were quite happy today, as their beloved 4th Hokage was back in the village along with his family, as Naruto sighed and said, "Alright, let's go," as he ran into a brat that was nearby, you can say. It was none other than Menma, who went apart from Kushina as well as Mito, who were at the Ichiroko ramen, as Menma was in the village. You can say, now just forget about this all situation. As for Menma and Mito, they were in the Ichiroko ramen along with Kushina as Naruto. As for Sasuke, they were just passing by, as Kushina moved his face as she saw that how a blonde haired boy just went past her, as she started to think, that kid looked familiar. Now, where did I actually see him? As for Naruto and Sasuke, as Sasuke said, "Well Naruto, we should go from the rooftop to rooftop," as Naruto said, "Yeah, that would be much easy," as they were going towards the training ground, as both Sasuke as well as Naruto went into the rooftop, as they started to run towards the training ground. As for Kushina, she was thinking, where did I have seen that blonde haired kid? As she started to think, and then after some time, wait, blonde hair? Naruto? As she quickly ran towards the location, as she saw that how Naruto along with his friend has already went off, as she started to think, what, she did not even remember to meet his own son after such a long time, as she was eating Ichiroko ramen here, as she started to feel a bit bad, as she said, "Alright, Menma, Mito, maybe we should get it eaten up," as Menma said, "Wait mom, I still have a lot of bowls to eat, right?" As Ichiroko ramen was giving him food and all. As Kushina sighed and said, "Just finish it already," as Menma sighed and said, "Alright, I'll do so," as they started to eat all, and then they headed towards the Hokage tower, as Kushina burst into the Hokage office, as Minato laughed and said, "Well Kushina, it seems that I forgot about this habit of yours," as he laughed, as Kushina said, "Wait, Minato, we did not even see our son, Naruto. It has been some time," as Minato's eyes widened, as he said, "Oh yeah, it seems that I forgot in the paperwork, right? Yeah, Now, where does Naruto actually live? I do not know. The third Hokage knows about it, as he said, alright, wait. Ambu landed, as then Minato said, well, I want to see my son, Naruto Uzumaki. Can you bring him here? As Ambu said, alright, as he went into, you can say, the village and all. Okay guys, here I will leave this part. Hope you guys like it. Please like and subscribe. Tell me in comment if you like to suggest something or things like that. And I will tell you in time. So I will upload the next part as quick as possible. So guys, if you guys are not subscribed, then do so. And peace.